Hey gang, how's it going? This is Logan Oliver, your favorite English teacher. I just want to give you a quick discussion about conflict. So I gave you a few notes earlier in this module, the different types of conflict. There are four main ones, and also a short description of each one. Now, if you've gotten to this point, you've done everything in order like I hoped you would, like I designed the course, then please stop now and go back up and go in order. Some people see a video and they go to it first. I'd like for you to go ahead and take a look at those notes about conflict and then read the story and then come back and look at this video, because this is a very interesting story. One of the reasons I chose it is because it's so weird and freaky, and even people who don't like disturbing stories can kind of get into this because there's a lot to kind of unpack. The reason I like to look at this story in terms of conflict is because there are several different possibilities of what the conflict could be, and the main conflict could be in the story. So in every story, in every work, whether it's a novel, a movie, or short story, there could be several different conflicts, but when I ask about conflict, I'm always asking about the main conflict. And the main conflict is going to be almost always one of those four types that I introduced you to earlier in this module. I want you to think about, is this character, first of all, our character, the character who's in conflict is always going to be the protagonist. And I think we can all agree that our main character in the story is Connie, the young lady in the story. And where are you going? Where have you been? And so Connie's a protagonist. So who is Connie at conflict? Who or what is Connie at conflict with in the story? So it could be a lot of things. People in the past have argued. I'm not on here to tell you what it is, because I want you to kind of formulate kind of your own ideas and maybe even write about it, whether it be in the blog that comes next after this video, or in your essay later on in this or later on in the semester, a little bit later, not too much. And it's coming up, guys. But some of the possibilities are, so character versus character. Is there another character? I think you could probably think of one, and some of you might even be able to think of another character that she's at conflict with. That could be the chief conflict, character versus character. So Connie versus which character? There are a couple possibilities. Some people in the past have argued that it is Connie versus herself. What aspect of herself? And you're thinking, how could it be herself when there's obviously this weird character who's come to her house to do something to her? But it could be. People have argued that before and have done well arguing that. Could it be character versus society? And there are some possibilities there too. What's interesting about this story is, though, like, the biggest, the climax and the craziest parts happen at the end, there's a lot of really important stuff that happens early in the story. How does she see herself, Connie? How's her relationship with her mom and her parents and her family? And what might those things have to do with what happens at the end? Maybe nothing, maybe something. It's up to you and what you kind of want to argue. So there are a lot of possibilities. And, there are right and wrong answers, but I want you to know that, guys, I don't expect y'all to be literary experts. I just expect you to try real hard to be good writers. So that's all I'm after. So don't worry about being wrong. Don't worry about disagreeing with me if I ever come on here and tell you, oh, yeah, this is definitely the case. Or maybe you think Connie's not the protagonist. Maybe you think it's somebody else. Maybe you think it's Arnold Friend. That's okay if you think that. Make that argument. So I don't expect you to necessarily, I don't want you to agree with me. If you disagree with me, please write about that. I just want you to be able to write a good essay. So please don't get caught up thinking that you're supposed to understand some of these things. I just want you to put in the work to try to understand them better and be able to write about them. So that's all, a little just discussion about, I just kind of wanted to get you like a preemptive discussion before you wrote about your blog. And I want you also to know that those blogs, guys, are made so that it gets your mind thinking about the story and the topic. So please, you can be very free with those blogs. It's kind of free writing. I want you to write well. I want you to mind your grammar. I want you to do those things. But as long as you're being thoughtful about the story and the question, and you answer the question, then you're going to get your points for your blogs. And be sure they're long enough, please. I've got some that aren't long enough, and I'm not going to give you all your points for that. So good luck on your blog. really be thoughtful about that blog. I know it's only 200 words, just a paragraph. It's not a whole lot, but the harder you fight for that blog and the more thoughtful you are about that blog based on your reading, the easier your essay is going to be. That's what they're designed for. So this is a very simple. This is a very simple class, guys. You have your reading, you have your video or your notes sometimes, and then you have this blog. So you've got a whole week to do these things. So really put time into doing it. And if you put time into doing it, you're going to find that the essays are really easy to write. If you don't, you're not going to get very far on those essays. It's going to be tough. So please, I'm here for you. Let me know if you need anything, and have a great day.